Of course, NightMare recently joining a new team. I think it was like a week ago, maybe over a week ago at this point. He did join Bleed Esports. It's great to see NightMare finally getting the support that he deserves. He's been teamless for far too long, but now is on a team, now has support. And can we use that here? Does he have that bit of like, is he revitalized here? Is he motivated to keep improving, to keep on playing? Does he have that new team boost? He's going to need it against this player here. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of site Delta, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing Talent Esports. It is Dark. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Bleed Esports. Again, his new team. Can he bring it here against his opponent? It is NightMare. And oh, where are we going? Hello, Monsieur Dark. As we're going for a hatch block, we're going for a hatchery across the map. Dark does like to spice things up. It is going to be hatch first back at home into, I imagine, a hatchery across the map. We'll see if we commit. Dark actually doesn't have the resources because he went for the hatch back at home. Usually we bank up resources and we go for the hatch first here. Drone has arrived. Drone does slip in. And we need a couple more seconds here. Gas has been thrown down. Okay, it looks like Dark, he's faking it out. Okay, good. He's faking it out. We have the gas. We have the spawning pool. I think that if Dark was blocked at the natural, then he commits. But here he hasn't, so he's just going to be delaying. And he could even try to steal the gas. Drone dips in. And, oh, can we get the gas? We cannot. The probe does. Oh, we can. NightMare did not hold position the worker. He was forced back, and the gas has been stolen. And this is some nice damage here from Dark. This is 5 probes off the mineral line, doing nothing but attacking a gas geyser. So very nice damage dealt. Does force the cancel. Drone does escape. Gas now being taken. Dark having a bit of fun here. Now, what I was about to say is that we haven't seen a lot of Dark as of late. What I mean by that is, if you remember, last week in ESL Open Cup Asia, Dark was absent. Dark, he wasn't there. I'm pretty sure he was just spending time with his daughter, with his new daughter. I'm pretty sure. Some time with his family, I'm sure. But yeah, he wasn't competing in ESL Asia last week, and ESL Asia this week, if you remember, we casted it. Dark did go down in the early rounds to Rex. There was a wild ZvZ. I recommend watching the VODs. It was insane. But Rex did cause a massive upset in that tournament, and he changed the fate of the entire tournament by knocking Dark out in the round of 16. It was wild. But because of that, again, we just haven't really been able to see much Dark, so I'm happy to cast some of Dark here in KSL, the Korean StarCraft League. Usually in KSL, our players vying for championship are Dark and Hero, and usually it's about who can stop Dark and Hero from facing off against each other. Who can stop them, if anyone? But now, our Ling's going to be dealing with these rocks back at home, and Dark going for his hatch gas pool into his third base. Standard opener here from our Zerg player. NightMare opting to go for a Stargate opener into Oracles. Let's go. If Zergs know that you have both in your arsenal, they will have to gamble a bit by either overmaking units or drones. True. Not wrong. That's actually the same rationale behind Bjorn's 3 racks. If you remember, last year when Bjorn was popularizing 2-Rax Reaper into Expand, one of the big dangers of Bjorn's build was the fact that at times he would mix in 3-Rax Reaper and even 4-Rax Reaper. Oh, sorry, not 4-Rax Reaper. 3-Rax Reaper or even 4-Rax follow-ups from there as well. Like having options and having different like variants of build and variations of like your composition and your playstyle does make it difficult to scatter and react. But 100%. As for now, the Oracle doesn't get much damage done across the map. One drone goes down, second Oracle moves out, getting into our third Oracle and third base. But so far, Dark's defense has been pretty solid. We've barely lost anything so far. Once again, the Oracle dips in. Once again, the Queens zone NightMare away. Again, Dark, he's known for his Queen control, for his Queen defense. Oof. So far, has been very solid. Okay, the unit's lost. 2 drones have fallen. I believe 1 was from the Oracles. No, never mind. 2. Alright, 1 was from the Oracles and 1 was across the map. Scouting drone. Once again, so far, no damage dealt. Ling does scout across the map. Checks the 3rd base. And we have a Nidus on... Oh my god, we're cutting workers! A Nidus Worm is on the way. The lair is scattered, but... I mean, that's not enough of a tell. With the revelation off. And it's going to be a Ling Queen Nidus all in here. It's all or nothing. From the side of Dark. We have an Overlord here at the natural. We have no Overlord outside the main. NightMare is in the dark. And did I say Ling Queen Nidus? I mean, we have a Baneliness on the way as well. Interesting, going for the Nidus Worm right outside the 3rd. Based on this, it looks like our goal is just to deny the 3rd base. Just to bring it down. Nidus Worm is spotted. NightMare, he does know, he throws down extra protection. Pylon, cannons. He's setting up here for the defense. Queens are waddling on in. Just holding on. We don't want to throw them away too soon. We need that Queen support. There we go. The Nidus Worm does finish. We have creep. I say that the Nidus Worm gets shut down. And Darky doesn't want to engage, not without his Queens. Now he goes for the surround. Oracles activate their pulsar beams. Ling's being shut down. We have the overcharge. And we hold. NightMare, he's holding on. Dark has to pull back. He has to respect that overcharge. He always catches some stalkers. Again, he's hoping that maybe NightMare is dragged out of position, getting this around. Dark is pulling back. And we're droning. Okay, we are droning up back at home. Now we have a Hydra Den. We have a Evo Chamber on the way. 4th base as well. We have a lot of catching up to do here. But again, especially with all this... Oh my... That's I just realized how much there was. We have 3 shield batteries and 3 cannons. Like, there was no breaking this. There was no breaking this position, so... It makes sense for Dark to back off. It's just really rough that he has to, that he was so committed. He's double expanding even. Double expanding, droning as hard as he can. Not making many units, cutting corners. And he has to. And NightMare is respecting him quite a bit here, taking a 4th base and taking a more defensive approach. As NightMare is teching into his own Colossus. There we go. Colossus production has commenced. We have charge on the way, extend thermal lance, +2. And Dark already throwing down his Lurker Gen. Okay, Hive is on the way. Like, Dark being quite greedy here. But again, he is going to be able to catch up tech-wise. But can he amass an army in time as... Oh my god, speaking of tech... NightMare throwing down the fleet beacon. I mean, he just saw the Lurker Den in the main with the hallucination. So NightMare, he sees that Dark is rushing to a Hive and rushing to Lurkers. He's like, okay, I'll rush into Skytoss. I see what you're doing, Dark. I'll meet you there. So this game has taken a turn. From all in into just rushing towards late game tech. Oracles, they get across map. Finally, damage is done. We got some solid early game defense, but now 5 drones go down. And all 3 Oracles will get out. They will escape. Carrier production has already commenced. The Hive not yet finishing. And the problem here is that Dark doesn't know. That's the big problem right now. If he did, then he'd be a little bit more aware. He could maybe even throw down a Spire and start working towards Corruptors. He would be aware to be a little bit more greedy, and he would not have made these Lurkers this soon. Like, if we see all these Stargates, and if we see the Fleet Beacon, there's no need to rush into Lurkers and rush into Hydras. We can be even greedier than this. And focus on all our tech before investing into this. But again, Dark doesn't know yet. Now we're getting a 5th. Throwing down stasis traps. Or it could be the opposite as well, right? Where if Dark was aware, then Dark would hit a timing, right? He would focus on maxing out first and then push and try to kill NightMare before the carrier count gets out of control. It's you have two different approaches. Either be hyper greedy or be hyper aggressive. But so far in this passivity, NightMare, he's getting away with his carriers. Hydra Lurker Viper is amassing, which again is going to be ideal against most ground-based compositions. Hydra Lurker Viper can be okay against Skytoss, especially a low amount of carriers. I'm talking like sub 6 carriers, but at a certain point, the Skytoss does hit critical mass, and you will need to respond with Spire Tech. That is going to be a necessity here at some point. Dark is coming in with the Overseer. Stalker on patrol. It is going to zone Dark away.
Metamorphosis complete.
Dark doesn't see much. We're getting up to 5 carriers. More Dark pushing on the left-hand side. Does break through these Zealots. Nice around. Zealots are shut down. Stalkers, they take a lot of spine shots to the face. The Colossus army and the carrier army is going to be responding, and now the carriers will reveal themselves. Spires are on the way immediately. Now Dark knows what's going on. Now we have Spires. They just started. But do we have time to get into those upgrades, to get into Corruptors? Big spine shots here on the Stalkers. So far, so good. Carriers will be able to focus down some of these Lurkers. There's not that many Hydras. Yeah, there's not enough anti-air. The Hydras are being bullied back. And now the Lurkers have to get the hell out of here. There's just too much in the air, too much in the sky. And NightMare has momentum. And the Spires are still not done. Likewise, Storm isn't complete either, so NightMare may decide to wait a little. Nah, we're pushing. I was like, he might wait for Storm. No. We're going to push out. We know we have momentum. Base is going to fall. Hydras are amassing. They need to be. Spires just about to finish. And if we can zone away those High Templar, we can hold on. If we can avoid those storms on the Hydras, then we can defend. Do pick from another Lurker. NightMare rotating towards the north instead. It does deny one base. Going for a Zealot run by. He is rotating towards the northern bases instead. Zealots are busting in. One Spine Crawler goes down. They're getting into the mineral line. And it looks like NightMare, he kind of pushed into the space. We do get a yoink. We get one. We get two. 2 carriers go down. And can we get a third and a fourth? Oh my god. We get 3. We get 4 carriers. Very nice pickups here from Dark. Takes down 4 carriers. And NightMare has to back. Oh, I was going to say he has to back off. He's going for the base, at least with the Zealots. Maintaining this position. Now, the Spires are done, but the reality is that 0-0 Corruptors are less than ideal. We're building up upgrades. We have to build up these upgrades first before we get into Corruptors. This is why it was so important earlier. If we were able to get an earlier Scout, we would have seen earlier Spires and earlier upgrades. And then that would have allowed the Corruptors to be online a lot faster as well. So Dark still needs more time. Does still need more time. Meanwhile, at least with those yoinks, we force back NightMare. We're getting our bases back up and running. Zealots were cleaned up. Dark is remaxing. We're on 2-0 at the moment, which isn't too bad. Working on 3-3. 3 range and 3 melee. The army is spotted. NightMare responds. I'm loving these Nidus Worms. They're to evacuate. They're to get the hell out of here once things get a little bit spicy. Was a Prism is sniped. Getting within range of the base. Yeah, the Nexus is under fire. The Nexus, it looks like it should fall. We have the Storms. At the same time, Zealots, they get into the natural. They're going for this. Get into the natural waste. They're going for the Spires as well. They are under threat, but it looks like the Lurkers, they get back home. Yeah, thanks to the Nidus Worm, we get the hell out of here. But the Vipers! No! The Vipers, they will barely escape as well. We save the Spires. We transfuse just to be sure. A safe measure. But that did force Dark back home. Did kill the Nexus. But NightMare's taking the center base instead. How many carriers are we on? 8. We're on 8 carriers. Have we rebuilt the Vipers? They're still very low. No transfuse energy. And these Vipers are crucial to the defense. And NightMare rotating around and gets a revelation of getting on top of these lurkers. Where are the Hydras? Where's the anti-air? Corruptor's now coming out. But we break through the line of lurkers. And it looks like we have taken down the base. Dark attempting to reposition. And we're going to head towards the south, going for more bases, going for more hatcheries. Dark now incorporating those Corruptors. Ooh, feedbacks are brutal. We shut down the Vipers immediately, and we have the Storms! And the Hydras, they cannot engage. GG gets called as NightMare does outposition Dark there, breaks through the bases, and will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, Dark, unfortunately, it took him a little bit too long to realize what was happening. It took him too long to realize that Skytoss was on the way. We didn't get to see Corruptors until the very end of that game, and by then, it was a little bit too little too late. The Hydra-based army was being bullied back by the Storms, by the carriers. There were some nice moments for Dark, some very nice moments where he was able to abduct and yoink some of those carriers, but remember, that was when the carrier count was a little bit lower, as we did mention, as we were able to snipe 4 carriers in that first fight, in that first engagement, when they moved out across the map. That was a really good moment for Dark, but did need a little bit more than that, and with that, GG. GG, well played. NightMare takes a lead, and now we're going to be getting into game number 2. Whew. Here we go. Catching up with the chat. Shima, hello. I hope you're well on this blessed day. Hello, Slammer. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great time. I hope the Slammer was able. Hope the Slammer was able to show his hammer. In the. I can't think of anything else. Well, I just know Slammer and Hammer. That's all I know, Papa. That's all I know. But thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great time. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you showed off your hammer, Papi. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Catching up in the chat. If you had Infestors, I wouldn't say so. Infestors, they can kind of help a little bit. I say a little bit because, sure, they can fungal and lock down the army. They can throw down the microbial shrouds, but by that point we had Storm. Unless you're referring to maybe the first fight, then early on, sure. Now we're settling into our next game. We're going to be loading into Amphion. Let's go. Let us go. Hydra's so inefficient getting stuck on them against Hydra CG. Yeah. I mean, we spoke about it, right? Like a lot of it did come down to the scouting. Did come down to recognizing what NightMare was doing, and what he was up to. I mean, as is most of the case in StarCraft. Scouting is key, but here we go. We're diving into our next game and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Amphion. We have our red Zerg player representing Talent Esports down in this series. Can he bounce back and make his way to the semifinals? I mean, he is favored in this series. We'll see if he can force that ace match. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player representing his new team, Bleed Esports, leading the series 1-0. It is NightMare. Let's go. Let us go. But now, just going to be a hatch gas pool. Standard opening here from Dark. Likewise, NightMare moving out for his probe scout. This time there is no hatch block shenanigans. Welcome everyone, of course, from Slammer's stream. I should also mention, welcome to the KSL, to the Korean StarCraft League. This is a bi-weekly tournament organized and hosted by Chicken Man and Dave Testa, and of course they allow everyone, all the community casters, to get involved and to get into casting it. So big shout out to Dave Test and Chicken Man, !KSL in the chat. If you guys want to have a look at the Patreon, if you want to support the Korean StarCraft League, it is funded by the community for the community as well. So big shout out to all the patrons out there to actually fund the event. Much love. Much love. So we are settling in. And this tournament used to be a weekly. Nowadays it's a bi-weekly. But if the support is boosted up once again, then it can go back to a more regular event. To a more weekly event. So we are getting to our openers. Winding it back, right. What I was going to mention is if you missed out on the beginning of the last game, Dark did go for kind of a fake hatchery block into a gas steal, was able to be a little bit spicy early on. It did lead into a Lin Queen Nidus all-in, an all-in that failed, which is another reason as to why Dark was so in the dark as to what was happening, because he was being a little bit greedy and just trying to tech up and stabilize and get into lurker tech as quickly as possible after his failed all-in. As he was fixated on that, NightMare rushed into Skytoss. It's kind of the TLDR of what happened in the last game. As once again, it's going to be a Stargate opener from our Protoss player. It's going to be Stargate into, I imagine, Oracle, into our 3-base setup. And Amphion is an interesting one just because you do have some more secure bases to take, whether it's even the linear third base or the triangular third. They can be a little bit more awkward to push into. Especially this base here, as you have to mine through minerals or break through rocks to gain access to that area. Speaking of, Dark already working on those rocks. Already opening up this area. As NightMare does not open Oracle. It's a Void Ray opener instead. Very interesting. Now, with a Void Ray opener, the power of this is the power of just... the power of being able to hide your tech. The power of just keeping your opponents in that. I'm trying not to say Dark so much. Keeping your opponent guessing as to what's going on. I say Dark too much, it just loses all meaning. But with the Void Ray, we're going to be hunting down these Overlords, and we can keep the tech hidden. Behind this, we can go into a second Stargate, into like a Carrier Rush, a Tempest Rush, into Massive Void Ray. We can go into a fast Twilight Council into Glaive of Depths, or we could even go into Oracles, into a third base, into a standard game. There's a lot available here, as Dark is rushing into a fast lair once again. Okay, that is a sub 4-minute lair timing. We saw that last game it was a Lin Queen Nidus all in. This time, I'm curious how aggressive Dark wants to be with this. But again, Dark is going to be a little bit unfamiliar with what comes next. With a fast lair, we have a couple of options. We could even try to rush into Hydras. We are taking 3 gases back at home. We are taking 3 gases, no Roach Warren. I'm leaning towards maybe Hydras, but we'll see. As there's a second Stargate, this is one of the options. This is one of the options you have available here. It looks like double Stargate into Skytoss. Or this actually could be double Stargate Phoenix. Curious. I'm curious. Oracle dips in from behind. Hits a third base. I believe we have it scouted the fast lair. Drones are going down. Oh, quite a lot actually. 5 workers full, 6 workers full, and the Oracle will escape. This is far too much damage here, far too much. 7 workers go down to the 1 Oracle. And we have the Roach one on the way. Dark is re-droning, he's resaturating his bases. Back at home, we're massing Oracle. Okay, this is a very unique build. This is a hero build, by the way. Rushing into mass Oracle. Now, hero usually does with charge. He goes for an Oracle charge all in. This is a little bit different as we do not have a Twilight Council. We don't have any other upgrades. But we are going mass Oracle. Let's go. And now we see what the fast lair is for. We're rushing into a Spire. Okay. I was leaning more towards Hydras, but now we have a 4th gas, so a Spire makes sense. This is about to get rowdy. This is about to get interesting. Now, I'm pretty sure the mass Oracle is going to hit first. Pretty sure this is going to hit first. It's going to hit hard. It's going to hit like a truck. And how many queens do we have to defend? Okay, 6 queens back at home. That's like the bare minimum here to defend. To have those 6 queens. Oracles are moving out, and we'll see how much damage we can get done. What's also scary about this is the Oracles are also going to get some scouting information. They should also get eyes on the Spire. Speaking of, Spire has been scouted. And now we can go double Stargate Phoenix. Yeah, there we go. Oh, this is brutal. We can just go into Mass Phoenix. We have the tech. And Dark doesn't know. So this is dangerous here. If we commit too hard into mutas, we'll see how many Phoenixes are out. Oracles, they hit the 4th. They deny the base. We haven't done much economic damage yet. But we are containing Dark to 3 bases. Is being contained. Corruptors are on the way. Okay. I see you. I'm liking this. I mean, okay, so a couple things, right? Dark, he knows about the Mass Stargate because of the Mass Oracle. He knows he got scattered, so really smart here to go into Corruptor. NightMare misreads this, assumes it's still going to be Muta going to Phoenix, which is less than ideal against Corruptor. Oh, we do catch the Queens. 3 Queens go down. Now the Corruptors, they will definitely help here. It's a better option compared to the Mutas. But we... Oh, that's it. That's going to be another cancel on the hatchery. Dark still contained. We'll see what these Corruptors can get done. Meanwhile, the ground army is going to be charged. We spoke about this before. We spoke about how Hero usually goes Mass Oracle into charge lots. It's a similar thing here. Similar, not quite the same. So we dive into the main base. We do reveal ourselves. NightMare not quite engaging. Yeah, keeping his Phoenixes and Oracles hidden. We do catch the Void Ray at least. Oracles are moving out. Phoenixes are hidden behind the natural. They're kept safe. Now that the Corruptors are revealed, we know not to make any more Phoenixes. And we won't be able to deny the hatchery. But we do catch some of these Oracles. We get 1. We get a 2nd and potentially a 3rd. As Dark is amassing a Ling Roach army. He's drawn up to 3 bases. He's drawn up to 67. But we're cutting workers here. Focusing on Roach Ravager, or Ling Roach even. As the Corruptors, they find a couple more Oracles. They do pick them up. The army is making its way across the map. Dark has bled out a little bit here, but at the same time, these Corruptors, they can't do much else. They could try and deny bases, sure, but they have been tagged. As Dark, he's still rallying Ling Roach across the map. And what do we have to defend? We have some cannons, shield batteries. We do have Immortal production underway, but we only have 1 so far. As the Roaches are caught. And there's not much to support them. There's not much Ling Bane here yet. Corruptors, they dive into the main. Stalkers are in position. And they focus on as many of these Corruptors as they can. Overcharges pop, keeping the base alive. Bailings, they roll in. So far, the force fields are good. No Ravagers. There's no answer to the force fields, and NightMare is holding. NightMare, he defends his 4th and his main. Roaches, they committed, and there is no overcharge. We can focus down that Immortal. So far, good control. We kite it back. Phoenixes are coming back in. Charge ults are barely morphed in as well. And this is going to be a tough hold for NightMare, but he barely does. Oh, yeah, rough movement there from Dark. Takes some extra hits. Is forced back. Even the Oracle is getting some extra damage towards the end. And NightMare, now he reinforces. Now all these Stalkers that were in the main base, they've met up with the main army. Blink is done. +2 on the horizon. Storm as well. Halfway done for NightMare. And now Dark is droning. And what's scary here is that we've been in this position before. I'm getting deja vu from game 1. Oh, sorry, I'm getting deja vu from Solar versus Creator. My apologies. As we're going to be throwing away all these Oracles. But in Creator versus Solar, we had a similar position where Solar committed with a Ling Bane Roach Ravager all-in. It failed, and he fell behind. Here, likewise, NightMare has a better economy. Straight up, he just has a better economy here compared to Dark. He's amassing a better army as well. With better upgrades, with Storm, of course, with Archons. Dark doesn't have to get creative here, and Corruptors, they don't get much done. And again, like, we spoke about this before, about how defendable a lot of these bases are on this map. Like, harassing at this 4th base, there's only 1 attack path. There's only 1 attack path here on the right-hand side, and it's so out of the way side that it's so difficult to commit into. Likewise, here, the center base, a little bit more exposed, but once again, we have a narrow choke point pushing up into it. As long as NightMare can keep up. with the movement of the army, then he should be okay. NightMare, sorry, Dark still committed. Dark, he is still not droned. He's on 68 workers. He's not taking additional gases, not taking a fifth. He is not droned. Dark, he's just doubling down here, maxing out. His goal here is to break NightMare here and now. Meanwhile, SkyToss is on the way. But there should be a fight before that happens. Oh, the Storm does connect with the Banelings. Dark ready for another assault here at the 4th. NightMare's in position. Oh, the Biles! Not quite gonna connect. Zealot Runby runs into Ling Bane, so now NightMare knows to keep this army here. Ready for that run by. Oh, the Biles! Oh my god. We do connect, we take down one High Templar. That could have been so much worse. One High Templar goes down. Ooh, we still have Storms. We still have Storms available. Prism towards the main. Dark has still not droned. It's still on Lair Tech. All or nothing here for Dark. Sending his main towards the mineral line. Do you have any Storms? Are they getting in? Yeah, they do crash in. The probes are going down. Corruptors into the main base. Bailings towards the 3rd base. They do not bust into the natural, but 16 probes fall. And we are pulling NightMare apart a little bit. The base getting low, Lings towards the 4th, but we have Archons in position. Pure Lings against Archons, you hate to see it. Yeah, the Lings have to retreat. NightMare is holding. Now what's scary is that NightMare, he lost 16 probes. We're even on workers. Like, that's how few workers Dark is working with. So NightMare is still maintaining his economy, but the Bailings roll in once again. The wall's on the wall! No! We bust in! More probes going to be going down, and NightMare is pushing. Looks like he doesn't care anymore. His economy does take a blow. Mothership is on the way behind this. Lings, they bust into the mineral lines. NightMare going to be warping in across the map. Right into the main. Does force a big reaction out of Dark. And the Zealots are going to surround. They take down the spawning pool. Yeah, no more Lings. I mean, Lings are doing a lot of damage. 26 workers go down. We have a Mothership back at home. The Biles, they do not connect. Whew. A clutch blink there from NightMare as he is moving out. I mean, NightMare's all in. He's completely all in at this point. The 4th base does fall. And we're going to keep on pushing. The War Prism fell as well, so there's no reinforcements. Biles not quite connecting. They get one Stalker. The Ravagers are exposed. The Ravagers are going down. There's no reinforcements. GG gets called as NightMare breaks through, and NightMare takes the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. A very, very surprising series here, as Dark was forced into an all-in there. I mean, he kind of went himself into one. It was a wild start to the game as well, going for a Spire, going for the fast Lair. Unfortunately, it was a big investment into those Corruptors, and the Corruptors didn't actually do much. If you remember, they caught some Oracles, but they didn't get a base. They caught the Void Ray, but they didn't catch the Phoenixes. The Corruptors was a big investment, and it didn't really pay off. And if you remember, from there, Dark committed. He was stuck on Ling Bane Road Ravager. He went all in. His 4th base was denied like 3 times. It was wild how he was stuck on 3 bases for so long, and he just doubled down. Just doubled down with the all in. Eventually, NightMare was able to hold on, able to survive. He had SkyToss ready to go. He had the Fleet Beacon. He had like 4 Stargates back at home. Instead, was forced into his own all-in. And Dark is eliminated from the KSL. From this week's KSL. GG, well played. NightMare will advance on. And now we have our semifinals. Oh boy, I hope you like some PVTs, because all the Zerg players have since been eliminated. Solar has fallen, Dark has fallen. I don't think Shin competed this week, so a little bit less Zerg representation. And that means we have our top 4. We have Creator. We have Creator versus Gumiho on one end, and we have NightMare versus Oliveira on the other. Oh boy, let us go. I'm going to need a moment here to set things up, and we are going to be going on a break. We're going to be going on a short break here, and going to be setting things up. Take this moment to hydrate your hydras, to get some water, you know, go to the bathroom, get some snacks, get some food, and get ready for the semifinals. Again, we're going to be casting both semifinals and the grand finals after this short break. See you soon.